Today we're going to talk about, can I get business lines of credit if I don't live in the U.S.? And the answer is yes, you can. If you are a foreign national, if you're not even a U.S. citizen, did you know you can get bank lines of credit in the United States in order to grow your business? Let me tell you how. Stay tuned. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to have to set up a corporation so that we become bank compliant. Look below, find out what bank compliance is. The second thing, because you're a foreign national, you're not access to a lot of information that usually U.S. citizens have. You have to form either a Nevada Corp or preferably a Delaware corporation. A Delaware is probably the best way to go because Delaware is recognized by all the states here in the United States. So you want to set up a Delaware corporation. You need to get an EIN number. That's Form SS4 number. Also, you want to go with a resident agent. With a resident agent in that state of Delaware, and there's a lot of different companies that can set you up. One of the best companies to go with initially, that's easy to deal with, is LegalZoom at LegalZoom.com. Tell them you want to set up a foreign corporation in Delaware. The fee is a few $100s, but we're not concerned with ourselves right now because we're setting up the corporation. You want to get your EIN number again. Then you want to start setting up different parts of that corporation. So one of the first things we're going to set up is that we need to set up a banking information. Now, because of Homeland Security, you have to have someone who's going to be in the States who can sign for you or who's a legal representative for you to set up that corporation. Because the banks have now what they call know your customer rules, more than likely you'll have to fly over just to introduce yourself. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You give them your information and set up the banking organization. Now, what I would do is that there are several banks that have subsidiaries in the U.S. Citibank may be in your country. Go with Citibank first. Let them know what you want to do. They have an officer within the bank that can help you set that up. HSBC is a great bank to go through. Talk with them. Royal Bank of Scotland is another great bank. And there are several other banks. Santander, I think it's called, the Spanish bank, also has subsidiaries here in the U.S. Also, Credit Lyonnais has Bank of the West here in the United States also was one of their subsidiaries to set up so that you can just set up different banking lines, banking relationships. I would set up no more than 3 national banks. So let's say Credit Lyonnais, Bank of the West, HSBC, and maybe let's say ING. They have subsidiaries here in the U.S. also. Set up with them. Start with a small deposit first just to get all the information and data within the system. After you have the corporation set up and you have banking relationships, now you can just go through and start applying for 30 days in business lines of credit for trade lines. And you will go through as you normally would to build up any corporation. So I always say before, it's like a pyramid. Become bank compliant. If you don't know what bank compliant is, below is a PDF. You can go through, become bank compliant. The second step, net 30. We want to have a certain amount of net 30 accounts. After that, revolving credit accounts. After revolving credit cards. So you can get credit cards as a foreign national living outside the United States. You're going to use the referenced information for your Delaware corporation. After we have that, when you fly back over to the United States, and let's say you have 100,000, 200,000 in business trade lines with different corporations, then when you come back, you can start setting up bank lines of credit in the United States, usually starting with large deposits, not too large, but large enough, and having those deposits act as reference points for lines of credit. So for example, let's say they're coming from Taiwan, you're putting in $50,000 into an account, into a U.S. account. What you can do is that you can put into a CD, or I would suggest putting into a trust account that can be referenced, and then saying, hey, I want to create a line of credit for my corporation based on this trust account or this CD. If you're brand new and the banks don't know you, they'll offer you anywhere between 80 to 90% of the available balance as a line of credit. And then as you pay them back and as you use the bank line of credit, they'll increase that and sometimes even take off, and more likely take off, saying that you have to have a trust line, so a reference point for the bank line of credit, because you're growing in relationships. Everything comes down to data, making sure the banks have all of your data. Again, below bank lines of credit, bank compliance. and then also grow the bank lines of credit with usage and paying back on time, and also with personal, and this is what I believe, personal reference back to the bank saying, hi, we're growing, we're doing this, how can you help me? And asking and rely on that banker to really come up with new ideas in order to grow that line of credit within that bank, because part of a bank's relationship is, number one, to know your customer, number two, help grow relationships because they're always looking for new growth and new opportunities. And just the fact that you're reaching out to the US and you want to go to the corporation, they want to be of help and assistance to you. They may know a lot of things that I don't know that their bank is able to do in order to help grow your corporation. But here's the takeaway and here's the key. You don't have to be a US citizen to do this. You don't have to. You can live in the Philippines, Taiwan, you live in Russia, it doesn't really matter. What matters is having the data. What matters is having that corporation. That corporation, again, it could be a Nevada corporation, but preferably a Delaware corporation because they're recognized as having strong corporate laws. Just in case something goes funny, it's a Delaware corporation. They have a strong, I think it's called the Chancellery within Delaware. It's been 1609. It's been like over 400 years. They've been around longer than the United States, if you can believe that. However, it's your best bet. You can get Visa cards, MasterCard, American Express cards also. Don't have to be a US citizen. Your information just has to be there. It has to become data compliant, and you just have to follow step by step by step. It's a very easy thing to do. It's not widely known, but it's a very easy thing to do. So anyway, if you want more information about this, reach out to me at charles@businessdata123.com or info@businessdata123.com, or my website, or our website at businessdata123.com. And the name of our company is called Business Data Consulting. We're here to help you, the business owner, get business lines of credit and other information in regards to data. Have a great day, and please watch the other videos. A lot of great information. We'll be on about 50 or 60, 70 different videos. I do one-on-one consulting. We have the webinars. We also do group consulting as well too. We're a little bit expensive, just to let you know up front. However, we're well worth it. And after you get $250,000, they say, oh, that little fee that Charles offered was nothing compared to $250,000, $500,000, in some cases even millions of dollars of lines of credit. Thank you so much for your time.